in this civilized world, isn't it? Yes. The very fact that all of us have taken some time off to come for this meeting on a Saturday is a testimony of that. Also, having said that, it reminds me of a time when I could not even speak a complete sentence in English, neither correctly nor fluently. And then I happened to meet someone and things changed. No, he was not a Toastmasters like any one of us trying to recruit me in his club. Not at all. But he definitely raised a toast to my spirits. So in a reminiscent mood, I go back in time in the late 90s, when as a teenager, I was growing up in a small town in the innards of West Bengal, where my father was employed with the Indian Railways. Though English was one of the subjects in school, however, I was not at all eloquent in it, because I hardly spoke in English. The common language that is spoken in that part of the world is Hindi, and that was the common language with which I conversed with my friends as well as my cousins. And to add to the disgrace, I was not even able to speak my mother tongue Bengali properly. This came as a cultural shock to most of my relatives, who were best at scrutinizing others. And before they could have labeled me as a social outcast, my father could sense the preceding danger and took some time off to talk to me. He said, I have no problem with Hindi. However, when you talk to me or your cousins, you should talk in Bengali. That was it. My mother tongue got its due, but what about the poor English, which was lying completely ignored in my tongue space, while I specialized in colloquial Hindi that is spoken more often in some parts of West Bengal, Bihar and Jharkhand. And then something happened which brought a turnaround in my life. It was during the ominous occasion of Durga Puja that there was a very effective and a very well-known annual sporting event that was supposed to happen in our small town. And there are a lot of celebrities who were invited from Kolkata to attend and inaugurate that sporting event. Around this time, I had also gathered some interest in cricket. And my father knowingly told me that one of the celebrities who have come to inaugurate the sporting event happens to be an Indian cricketer. There was a certain adrenaline rush in me, and I helplessly asked my dad, Baba, can I accompany you to the clubhouse? Because there was a lavish dinner that was organized at the Eastern Railways clubhouse for all those celebrities, and my father, being one of the employees, were also one of the invitees. No! Kids are not allowed to attend such parties, said my father, and walked away. After a few hours, my father happened to call me, and he said, if you want to come immediately, as the party is just about to get over, and all the celebrities will leave soon. That is my dad. Whenever I asked something from him, initially he'll always decline. However, he'll soon have a change of heart and would get me whatever I asked for. Now, I flashed in joy and excitement, hurriedly dressed up, grabbed hold of my autograph book, and rushed towards the clubhouse. When I reached there, I saw a gentleman in the late 20s getting inside a posh Mercedes-Benz. He would have left earlier, but my father had requested him to stay back for a few minutes. There comes the boy, said my father, and nudged me towards the celebrity. While I walked towards him, I was completely awestruck by his pleasant demeanor and sparkling eyes. Nervously, I shook hands and handed over my autograph to him. The cricketer smilingly asked me, hey boy, how are you doing today? This came as a bouncer to me, because I couldn't comprehend even a single word he said. And I stood there completely stoned, just glaring at the individual for a few seconds before I asked him to repeat what he has said. There was nothing wrong in it. The only thing is, I blurted my request in ideal colloquial Hindi. हम समझ नहीं पाए, फिर से बोलिएगा, which means I didn't understand. Could you please repeat yourself? This time around, the very patient cricketer smiled at me and blinked and repeated whatever he said in colloquial Hindi. And I happily replied. However, during the course of events, there was one individual who was supremely devastated. And that was my dad. My poor dad. He was absolutely embarrassed at my inability to speak English. Hence, once we reached home, he called me and said, "You will reach nowhere if I keep sending you to the local college." And that's rest is history. Soon after my intermediate results were out, I packed my bag and moved to Delhi, chasing my dreams and also to enhance something which is known as a communication skills in the modern world. It was an expensive venture, considering my dad's meager income. So hence when I landed up in Delhi, I was left with no other option than to earn as well as I learned. Though it was a journey which was very promising, but it also was very brutal. As a simpleton, turning up in a metropolitan, it took time for me to get used to the cosmopolitan nature of a metropolitan. And I took up the job of a salesman because it demanded me to speak more often with clients, and that too in English language. I had high hopes, so did the recruiters, and expectedly, I was sacked within the first 2 weeks of my first job. Reason again being, I lacked grace and the communication skills required to excel in that job. But there was something that kept on hallucinating me. That was my dad's face when he was embarrassed at that party. And that kept me pushing. It kept me pushing through sleepless nights, thirsty afternoon, and hungry days. And finally, in succeeding years, I was able to enhance some of my communication skills and deliver my CB2 year. And also get my footholds upright and straight in my corporate world. But somewhere down the line, I keep on thinking, had I not met that individual that day, where would I have been today? Had I not met Mr. Saurav Ganguly that day, where would I have been today? Yes, the individual I met that day was none other than Saurav Ganguly. He happens to be one of the best Indian captain that cricketing history had ever seen. He has 11,000 one-day international runs. He is one of the best overseas captain that India had seen, having 11 wins into his cap. The cricketing world knows for all these great achievements, but for me, he will always be omnipresent for the fact that he was the one who was instrumental in enabling me mind my language. Over to those masters.